Punk has been streaming his ranked matches from over in Japan. I don't know if a lot of people are watching live because of the time zone difference, but I've been going back in the VODs, and I've, no joke, watched maybe 5 hours of his matches in the past 2 days, and I've taken a bunch of notes that I want to share with you guys. Let me explain my methodology a little bit. So if you want to replicate this with a different player who plays the same character as you, you can. So what I did is I opened a Google Doc and I typed quick checks. I just put a section on there that said quick checks, and these were things that on first glance, when I saw it in the replay, I didn't understand. And it was, sometimes it was very simple things, like he was playing Hikaru and Hikaru presses stand heavy kick on Aki, and I was like, huh, like I don't know what the frame data is on that. It's negative, but like I don't know what it is. Could you punish there? Is it spacing dependent? What's that about? And I saw a Kimberly player do drive rush, crouch medium kick, and I thought, I wonder if he's respecting that because of spacing or if it's actually plus, like, and how plus is it? So I wrote that down. And by the end of it, I had this long list of things to just go test in the game, and my game knowledge like expanded a little bit, or actually a lot. Like a lot of things that I was just winging up until now, I actually started to understand, especially when he would play against like he played against Shuto a lot, and he would do things like Shuto would do driver stand heavy punch on Marissa, and he would V-reversal it, and then Punk would say, oh yeah, I V-reversal it there because if you let that Marissa player get in, she's gonna do drive rush heavy punch, medium Gladius, and you pretty much lose like 2 bars anyway, so you might as well spend the 3 or whatever it is on V-reversaling, and then you get back to regenerating your bar. It's little things like that that I figured out by just watching the replay and writing it down and testing it. Speaking of V-reversal, let's talk about that a little bit, because Punk uses it a lot more than any other pro players that I've watched, especially against characters who like to do that, which is a heavy button into drive rush. Characters like Marissa, Luke do it, and even some strings, like when Zangief players do forward heavy punch, forward heavy punch, forward heavy punch, you could V-reversal that if you wanted to, but that also has a huge gap. The Zangief one has like a huge gap in it. You can just press a button if they keep doing that. I think. You can also do it with mediums into drive rush. It's a little bit more situational. You have to lab it, but like most mediums into drive rush are not real. Like there's a gap to where you could DP or you can do a drive reversal. So you should probably add that into your repertoire. And like I said, the thought behind that is if they're doing a heavy button into a drive rush, into more pressure, you're just losing a bunch of gauge anyways. So you might as well spend it and start getting yours back sooner. Now, second thing that I wrote down is very simple, but it's if you block a button you know is negative, just press something and take your turn. Like, don't worry about getting hit or something because it's your turn. The worst they do is like mash a super or something and it comes out really quickly. But also, take your turn back if it's not a spacing trap, right? Just remember that these buttons, like most buttons in this game, are negative. So if you block it, it's your turn. Unless it's like a spacing trap. For example, Cammy could do stand heavy kick and then catch you with this. That's a spacing trap. If you're trying to like jab after her stand heavy kick, then usually people will press this to catch you. But if it's not something like that, you should take your turn back. The real like star of the show today, the real reason I wanted to make this video was to talk about pressure, because when you watch Punk play the game, his pressure is a little bit more unique. It's more reserved, but it's super effective. I'll show you a clip in a second where he's playing against Lashar, and it is very apparent that Lashar doesn't know how to deal with it. And it's very oppressive. So in this game, you have to understand that the pressure is nothing like 5. It's not like Street Fighter 5, and I had to remind myself of that because in 5, the buttons were more plus, so pressure would look something like, oh, I'm going to get a knockdown. Damn, okay, I'm going to get a knockdown, and then I'm going to do like 2 mediums or something. And then I'm going to get pushed back here, and it's his turn. It was very simple to understand when it was their turn, when it was your turn, what your options are, and that you have a little bit more options because you have more plus buttons in that game. In this game, that is not the case. A lot of your buttons are negative, and you have to understand that when you're pressuring somebody. So let's say I get a knockdown, and then I would do like jab. That's a very simple pressure, right? I'm going to do jab. And if the jab hits, then I cancel into a special move. I get another knockdown. We run it back. If they block it, though, you kind of have 2 options, right? I do jab or something. I'm pushed out here. I can drive rush cancel off of that jab, go back in, and we're guessing strike throw again. Or you just sit here, right? Like, will I back off and let them out kind of thing? Or what is he going to do? Is he going to do nothing? Is he going to press a button? Is he going to jump? Is he going to crouch medium kick drive rush? Is he going to whiff? What's he going to do? They only have so many options. They can't back out, right? They can't go any further back. And this is where you can start to understand your opponent a little bit better, is what I've seen from Punk, right? And against a lot of the people he was playing, especially the higher level players, they stop. Like, they don't do much in the corner because they're trying to assess the situation, it feels like. Well, some of them don't like do much in the corner. And they stop to like assess the situation, and they don't respond right away. So you'll see, I'm going to show you this clip in a second, Punk pressing so many buttons in the corner to the point where it looks like it's plus, but you can see these tiny little delays, these tiny little pauses where he's looking for them to do something, and if they don't do something, another button's coming, and if they do something, they're getting whiff punished. But you can react, and it's really cool to see. So let me cut to that clip. So this is him versus Lashar. Let's take a look. He's got Lashar in the corner. That stand fierce on Cammy is really powerful. Crouch fierce is plus, stand fierce, crouch medium punch. Her only plus button, by the way, let me rewind real quick. Her only plus button, remember, is crouch fierce. So all of these, like stand fierce, crouch medium punch, these are negative buttons. It is Lashar's turn. He tries to take his turn back right there. He gets hit by a spacing trap. It trades. And you see, he's not mashing two crouch medium punches. He's not mashing heavy punch into crouch medium punch like it's a combo. There's these little staggers, these little delays to see what Lashar is going to do. And when Lashar doesn't do anything, another button is behind it. There's a little drive reversal to keep him there. See, there's not much going on. There's not a lot of scrambling in the corner. It's not always going to be like this because the opponent sometimes is like crazy, and they'll run out, they'll jump out, they're making a decision instantly, but Lashar is not. And I thought that was a really good example of getting buttonsy in the corner against an opponent who's not really doing much. And it's like a very solid layer 1 game plan in the corner. It works against everybody that he plays against. He's playing against Lashar, one of the best players in the world. It works just as good against him as it does against like a Honda player, right? To differing levels of success, because the like 1400 Honda player he played earlier was just getting hit over and over again. But Lashar is like actively trying to come up with counterplay, and it's still working. So I feel like it was just something I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider subscribing. I'll talk to you again real soon.